Hi everyone.
Hi everybody.
This is my friend Jin.
This is my friend Min.
네, 오늘은 5학년 친구들을 위한 챕터북을 한번 소개해 보려고 가지고 왔습니다. Ready? Go! 매직트리하우스. There are 28 books in that series and one more version is already here. We are going to talk about the first book, which is introduction of this series.
Right.
So the title is
Dinosaurs Before Dark by Mary Pope Osborne. You liked these books and you recommended it to me and I really enjoyed it. There are two children. There's a brother and a sister.
Right.
And the sister's very outgoing and very adventurous. She's not afraid of anything.
Right.
But her brother is a little more shy. He's more careful.
Yeah.
And they are out in the woods and they find a tree house. And the tree house has lots of books in it.
And it's magic tree house.
And it's a magic tree house, exactly. And they read the book and then they get pulled into the story about dinosaurs.
This book is about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And the second one is about knights. The third one is about mummies.
Yeah.
How interesting. And these are actual things in the past, right?
Right, exactly.
So their journey is really, fantasy, right?
Right.
But their adventure is all about real things.
Real history.
Yeah. So that's why I recommend this series to upper levels of elementary school, because in Korea there are tests matter.
You guys have those really important tests.
Right, in middle school and high schools as well. And if your kids are very interested in reading picture books, which is very good, and readers, very good. But someday, why don't you let them involve this kind of book series, which has fiction and non-fiction contents at the same time. Then they can be very used to that kind of non-fiction area, and then they will do a better job in the future.
They might, yeah.
Yeah.
It gives them some experience with just reading information.
Yeah, a lot of background knowledge.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, this is called chapter books, right?
Right, right.
That means there are, chapters.
Exactly, yeah.
For example, there are 10 chapters in this book, right? And also, this kind of books has quite a lot of, pictures, even it's not really colorful.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of what we call white space, right? It's not all text.
So, compared to this kind of novels, it's very long, and then even it has a lot of pictures, but still it has a lot of lines of sentences.
A lot of words, a lot of text.
So if someone is not very confident with reading or not really got into the reading so far, then why don't you recommend this book to the kids like
Absolutely,
that?
yeah.
Maybe that could be the same in America as well.
Yeah, that's the way it works for readers.
Yeah. There's one more point about this book.
Yeah.
I think the author is very genius,
I think so.
Yeah,
Very.
about using, vocabularies, especially the verb part.
On page 13, in the third chapter, the first three sentences, Jack looked out the window, looked down at the picture in the book, he looked back out the window. So the verb is all looked, but the author lets the reader, the student, see three different ways that you can use that same verb.
Yeah,
right?
differently.
Looked out, looked down, looked back out.
Yeah.
That's really good for practice.
So when your kids are used to, read this kind of, expressions and sentences, they get to know the differences very naturally.
Yeah.
Jane, I really like to study English with these real English books, right?
Yeah. You were telling me you have some methods that you use.
Just very simple method. Yeah. If I really like the English books, I, always make word list. For example, like, verb, and then the sentences from the book, maybe Korean meaning, and also some more sentences from, dictionary.
Okay.
Then I can memorize the words. Also, I can get to know the usages exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
It's good practice.
yeah, when your kids really like this book, yeah, you can maybe persuade them to write, not all the verb or all the vocabulary. Maybe when they read one chapter, maybe 3 or 5 words, that would be okay for them. And then, yeah, they can learn very easily.
Easily, and that's the best way to study vocabulary.
Yeah.
In context.
Right,
Not-
that's the point.
Not in a boring list.
Right, matching,
Yeah.
My concern, this kind of low quality of the paper,
Yeah.
which is not really, the case things.
Yeah.
We really consider the quality of the paper.
Sure.
But I recently bought some, low quality of big paper.
Sure,
a
like
lot
drawing
for
paper,
my,
sketch pad. Yeah.
in my kids.
Sure.
Because I can save the money. Also, I just let them get used to this kind of low quality of books later.
You are very clever.
So it's a good idea to get the low quality of paper to let them enjoy drawing and something. Then later maybe when they grow up a little bit more, then they don't have any barrier with this kind of low quality of yellow paper. Okay, that's my tip. So hope you enjoy this book series and then subscribe to
Yeah,
our channel, please.
absolutely. Subscribe to our
구독해주세요.
channel. We'll-
And then thumbs up, please.
We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.